Good Sunday afternoon. I'm getting ready to have Sarah's graduation party, but I thought that this is so important because I've been following a few people, checking on them, and I've discovered maybe a little misunderstanding on how the ketogenic diet works and what we're attempting to do by slowly getting you into ketosis. Why I can have one guy like Christopher Stevenson, pastor of Copeland Ferry Church of God, lose 18 pounds in 1 week, have other people lose 10, 15 pounds in 2 weeks, and then have some people not have any success at all. And in talking to some of these people, it's clearly evident that they don't really understand how ketosis works. Now, are we trying to get you into a ketogenic diet right off the bat? Absolutely not. We're trying to work you into it. But if you've been working on this for 3-4 weeks and you're not in ketosis and not seeing significant weight loss, something's wrong. This isn't a way of eating that works for some and doesn't work for others. This works across the board. It's just proven. It's biology. It's anatomy. It's science. There's no way it doesn't work for you. That's the reason I say you got to convince yourself this isn't something you try, that this has to become a way of life. You have to convince yourself of, hey, I'm doing this permanently. Now, let me explain to you what ketosis is. But first, you got to understand how we're created. We're like hybrid cars, and we can have two different fuel sources. A hybrid car can either have very clean fuel, which is electric, or dirty fuel, which is gasoline, or even the worst case, let's say diesel fuel. And it produces lots of nasty after effects from the diesel fuel, a lot of emissions and stuff like that. That's how our body is when we're burning carbohydrates. Now, the way we were designed by God, our Creator, to operate is burning fat as fuel. Then the fat turns into what we call ketone bodies. When we get into the state of ketosis, we're actually literally consuming our stored body fat as fuel. That's the reason we lose so much weight. The reason you lose so much weight right off the bat is water. I mean, the reason that your feet are swollen, the reason your hands are swollen, the reason that your legs are swollen is because your high carbohydrate diet. Without the existence of carbohydrates, you cannot retain water. You follow me? So let's talk about the process of getting into ketosis, because I think this is where we're messing up. This is where we're getting sideways. So I'm a hybrid car. The best way for me to operate is using fat as fuel, not carbohydrates. You got 3 macronutrients, which mean big nutrients. You got fat, protein, and carbohydrates. The biggest thing you need to understand is carbohydrate is a non-essential macronutrient. In other words, you can live a completely normal life without ingesting any carbohydrates. Now, if you do that, you're going to have to supplement the micronutrients, the small nutrients, the vitamins and the minerals that we typically get from the plants. You're going to have to supplement that in your diet. So you're going to have to take proven, healthy, real multivitamins, not GNC multivitamins, not Walmart multivitamins, not multivitamins that are glued together, not multivitamins that are petroleum based, but real chelated multivitamins and fish oil, good fiber supplement. And then we want to assist our hormones by taking a good hormone supplement. So we can use fat as fuel. That's the way we're created. Now, how does this process take place? Well, we are born and very suddenly introduced to carbohydrates. I mean, you look at the main ingredient in baby formula, corn syrup. Yeah. Exactly. That blows my mind. Corn syrup, the most toxic substance on the planet, is given to our children as they're born in baby formula, in corn syrup. So we get overwhelmingly addicted, and we get used to having what? We get used to having carbohydrates as our fuel. And there's all kind of things that go on in our brain, and we're not going to talk about that, but I want you to understand what happens though carbohydrates. Those carbohydrates are processed into glucose, and the glucose is stored into the muscle by way of what we call glycogen. Now, in order for me to go from burning the carbohydrates as fuel, to burning fat as fuel, I've got to deplete the glycogen out of my muscle. And it is a process. It can take as little as 3 days, can take as much as 2 weeks. Now, what happens if I'm on the road, say it's going to take me a week to get into ketosis, and I'm on the road to get into ketosis, and all of a sudden I grab a couple of chips. Later on that day I grab a cookie, or I do a half and half tea, or do something to ingest some sugar. That means that I start back over from square one. It's not really square one because you've already depleted some of your glycogen stores and you got a lot of it. So if I deplete some of it, then I slip up, I put a little bit back in there. Now I got to go back and deplete that. So listen, the Coca-Cola you're having every 3 days is absolutely destroying your ability to succeed at this. The guy that's losing 18 pounds in 1 week, he's not cheating. Are you following me? Now, I'm not saying if you cheat or you slip up to stop. I'm saying get back on board. Don't let it turn into a 3-day, splurging on cookies and ice cream and so on and so forth. You fall down, you get back up. But you got to get back up. And it's better not to fall at all. I give you a simple plan. When you deviate from that plan, when you start looking at these recipes, the keto cookies and the keto mug cakes, and when you start looking at all that stuff, I'm telling you, they will knock you out of ketosis. They are counterproductive. The people that are pushing this stuff at you they don't have your best interest at heart. These recipes are fine after you reach your goal weight, but until you reach your goal weight, or until I tell you to have a cheat day with some of them, you don't need to do that. They're counterproductive. So the glucose is stored in the tissue, muscle tissue, as glycogen. The glycogen has to be depleted before you can start burning the ketone bodies, which are derived from fat, as fuel. When that happens, we begin to burn the stored body fat as fuel. But when I slip up, I put glucose back in me, glycogen store goes up, and I got to deplete that again. So if you're slipping up every 3 or 4 days, you're not going to lose any weight. That's the reason some of you have been proceeding at this for 2, 3, 4 weeks, over 5 weeks now, and have not seen any significant weight loss. Now, are you feeling better? Yeah, because you're halfway in, halfway out. Are you retaining less water? Yeah, you're retaining less water, and you can see the benefits of it, but the benefits are not maximized because you can't make up in your mind that I am not going to cheat. Look, I give you a plan. If you'll stick to the plan, it'll work. If the plan isn't working for you, get with me. We will rewrite the plan. So just follow me there. Follow me. Try that. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things that causes your insulin to spike that you might be doing that you're not aware of. The whole idea of net carbs. I got 20 carbohydrates in something, 15 grams of fiber, so I'm only responsible for 5 net carbs. Let me tell you something. The formula doesn't work. If that was the case, I could take vanilla ice cream and Metamucil, and I could mix them together properly and eat it and not have an insulin spike. They've proven it over and over and over again. Go buy yourself a glucose meter at Walmart for $20 and eat a bunch of fiber, bunch of net carb stuff and thinking that it's not, and check your blood sugar and watch what it does. Because this is all about insulin, right? This whole thing is about getting your hormones to act right. So if I eat something that causes an insulin spike, anything, it is going to hinder me from getting into or staying into ketosis. So the net carb thing, rule it out. Rule it out. Follow the plan that I give you. Stay off these sites looking at these recipes. Stay off them, because I promise you, if it has carbohydrates in it, like in the almond flour, coconut flour, you are not going to be successful at this diet. Sugar alcohols, it's just a lie. They spike your insulin. These Atkins bars that are full of sugar alcohols and other things that they have that are full of sugar alcohols. The pure stevia with a maltitol in it at Piggly Wiggly and Walmart and different places like that. All of it spikes your insulin. The maltodextrin that they put in the Splenda brand sweetener at at Walmart spikes your insulin. If you have too much protein, it is going to spike your insulin. This is not a high protein diet. This is not another artificial sweeteners can cause an insulin spike. Absolutely. You can even think about something sweet sometimes to get an insulin spike. That's the reason we back you off that stuff. You know, if you're having these protein puddings and stuff like that and not let me know about it, I'm telling you, you're not going to be as successful as you can. We've got to make up our mind. Now, what's the one macronutrient that does not cause an insulin spike? Never. Fat. That's the reason this is a high-fat diet. You get satiated. You get full off of fat. That's the reason we preach fat. Fat's been vilified. Fat isn't bad for you. Hydrogenated fat. Man-processed fat. That stuff's bad for you. Genetically modified oils. That's bad for you. But natural fat is the most healthy thing you can absolutely consume. So listen, if you've been struggling, it's because you're cheating or you don't know. So we're getting ready for some renewals. And I don't want to take your money if you're not successful. That's not why I'm here. I promise you this. I want this to provide for my family. But if you're not willing to communicate with me and let me know what's going on, you know, coming up July the 1st, it's going to be time for some people that started Women May to renew. Some of you already renewed and you're doing great. But I'm going to want to talk to you and see if you're committed to this. I boast a 100% success rate of the people that follow the plan. And I stand by that. If you'll follow the plan, if you're struggling and if you'll just keep a list of what you're eating during the day, first off, I already give you the list. You shouldn't be eating anything other than that without checking with me. You know, we made a commitment together. I made a commitment to coach you. You made a commitment to do this. You know, if it's not working for you, if it's just not, if it's just not that important to get healthy, if you've just got to the point where, you know, it ain't you don't feel like it's the right time, it is the right time. It is the right time. But if you're not going to be committed to this, I mean, we just have to, we just have to back up and punt. So some of you I'll be contacting personally, but I just want you to realize what ketosis is and the reason that we got one guy, Christopher Stevenson, losing 18 pounds in 1 week. We got other people that, and also off blood pressure medicine in 1 week. That is amazing. And we got other people that are having a lot of success, losing 8-10 pounds in a week. You know, sister lost 68 pounds, 65 to 70 pounds in 4 months. We're having so much success with some of you, and some of you, you know, are having no success at all. I know what it is. It's either that you're following, you're doing too much of this keto pudding stuff, this protein pudding, you're upping your protein way out of whack. You're consuming a lot of things that's supposed to be zero net carbs. You don't know how to read a food label. And then you got eating a lot of wraps and stuff, you know, eating too many sweet potatoes. You're 4 or 5 weeks into this thing and you're still not even really completed the first week. I want you to be successful. I want you to be successful. You follow me? This is not about the money to me. Do I need the money? Man, we need the money. We need the money. We've committed to do this full time, and it is a struggle. I'm just telling you, it is. It's really a struggle. But I don't want to. I don't want to take your money if I'm not able to help you. And the only way I can help you is if you make a commitment to the program. Anyway, I hope this helped you. And I just pray that God bless you richly. Through the only way you can be blessed, there's only born Son, Jesus the Christ. Send me some business. We need it. We desperately need the business. Things are going well. That we're on track. But, you know, we wasn't really prepared to do this at this time in our life. We've made some adjustments. We're continuing to make more adjustments to make this happen. But business, the new clients solves all of our financial problems. So anyway, I pray that God bless you richly. The only way you can be blessed by His only born Son, Jesus the Christ.